Good afternoon. It's been a while since I did a video. Not even sure I remember how to do it. I want to talk to you today about living your best dash. Jody and I, a couple times a year, 2 or 3 times a year, visit a cemetery. And while we're there, I've noticed that there's a headstone with a name on it, and a birth date, and a dash. And apparently the person has not passed away because there's no ending date. And I thought about that, especially this time of year. Yesterday was the 10th anniversary of my stroke. And that was the second time in 15 years that I've come close to death. Closer than I ever dreamed I would be or ever imagined. The first time was out of total brokenness, despondency, despair. And I came very close to taking my own life. And in that process, God asked me a question. Do I want to live? And I had to answer that question. And at the moment, I didn't. The pain was more than I could bear, and I just didn't want to live. But over a period of time, I was able to answer that question in the affirmative and say, yes, God, I want to live. The second time he asked me that question was after the stroke. I did live. Although Joni was told 3 times in the first 72 hours that I probably wouldn't. But by God's grace, 7 days later I woke up. And I began a very long rehab process. And to be honest, that first 2 years was a real struggle to find a purpose once again to live. I'd lost ministry, lost the ability to drive, lost the ability to provide. And there was days that I just couldn't figure out a reason to get out of bed except to do Joni's laundry and fix dinner. And I felt like my house was a prison. And again, God asked me, do you want to live? And again, I had to ask myself, why? My dash appears to have come to an end again. I got up 5 years earlier and I worked hard and I created a wonderful life. A life I loved. And then all at once, in a blink of an eye, it was all gone again. And finally I said, yes, I want to live. And that was the turning point. That's when things began to turn around for me emotionally, spiritually, relationally. And I have lived every moment since then, determined to live my best dash, to enjoy my dash, to thrive in it the best I can. If there's one thing that my wife and I know, we don't know what tomorrow holds. Our life is simply a breath that can be taken from us at any moment. That person who has a headstone with no ending date is because they don't know when their ending date is. I don't know when mine is. So we've determined to live our life. And to live it to the fullest and to live it with purpose. You say, what's your purpose? To love God with all our heart, with all our soul, with all our mind. To love our family. To make sure that they never, ever question our unconditional love for them, our support for them. That we're in their corner. We may not always agree. But that doesn't change the fact of our love or that we're cheering them on and we simply want the best for them. To be the best example to the next generation of what a minister, a true Pentecostal ministry, is about. To encourage them, to cheer them on, to help them establish strong and fruitful ministry. So my question is, what are you doing with your dash? Maybe life has knocked your legs out. Maybe your current circumstances are not anything like you dreamed of and hoped for. My question is the same one that God asked me. Do you want to live? See, the choice is ours. I could be sitting in the corner right now feeling sorry for myself. Or I could get up and live. And for the second time, I've chosen to get up and live. And I can tell you I'm thrilled that I made both choices. Joni and I have a wonderful life, and we have a wonderful plan for our future. Whether we see that future or not is in God's hands. But we're dreamers, and we dream about our future. We talk about our future. We plan for our future. Are you dreaming about your future, or have you given up on it? I pray you haven't given up on your future. I pray that you aren't sitting in the corner, feeling defeated, discouraged, and despondent, feeling that no one cares. I'm telling you, I care. I care about you more than you'll ever understand. I love you, and I simply want to see you thrive and to enjoy your dash. When I had my stroke, I was sitting at a computer very similar to this on a Tuesday morning, I believe, working on a sermon I was going to preach that Sunday. And at some point in the process of that, I had a stroke and everything went black. Literally everything changed in one breath. One breath. And everything can change for the better with one choice. What choice are you going to make with your dash? Are you going to live for yourself? To satisfy yourself? To please yourself? That's a very lonely and miserable life. I've witnessed people who have done that. We all know of Hollywood stars who have done that, only to end up committing suicide because their life was empty. If you're living just to satisfy your inside, trying to find happiness, you're going to be miserable because you're never going to satisfy it. But if you live your life with a purpose of loving God and serving your family and trying to make the next generation better than you are, that's a purpose. That's a legacy. And that's what I'm trying to do, is leave a godly legacy, a legacy of love. My dad died when I was 48 years old. And I never heard him say to me, I love you. I never heard him say, I'm proud of you. And I have done everything I can since my stroke to let my kids, all of my grandkids know how passionately I love them. And I am so overwhelmingly proud of every single one of you. And for any others who are seeing this video today, you're seeing it because you know me. And if I've sent you the link, it's because I love you. And I'm proud of you. And I only want you to live your best dash. Father, I pray for anyone who's hearing this today, wherever they're at, whatever they're going through today. Break through the cloud of despondency or despair. Give them a fresh hope. And as we enter into 2024, give them a fresh vision of what you can do in their life if they're ready to live. We can shake off the dust of the grave clothes of what we've lost. And we can put on our new garments. And we can truly celebrate you in our life every day. In your name I pray. Amen. Well, thank you for listening. I pray this encouraged you some way. And if you know somebody who needs to hear this, do me a favor and do them a favor. Send them the link. Encourage them to watch. Hey, let's make 2024 a year of possessing our God-given promises. Love you all.